On today's Daddy Talk, we will be speaking with Kelly Little from Urban Institute, North Carolina. This is Daddy Talk. This is Daddy Talk, and I'm your host, Calvin T. Mann of Good Fathers Only, the president and founder of Encourage Me, I'm Young. And today's guest is Kelly Little of the Urban Institute. Welcome, Kelly.
Peace and blessings, Brother Cal. How you doing?
Awesome, man. How about yourself?
Man, I'm blessed. Can't complain.
Good. So, I know you're doing that great work around fatherhood, and so I wanted to make sure that we got uh, some good answers for the people, some solutions and things. And so, my first question to you is: would you support a shared parenting bill?
So the answer to that would be absolutely affirmative. I would support a shared parenting bill.
Good. I think it's important. That's why we're asking, because here in Michigan, we're gearing up and getting into the process of getting more men involved in how the shared parenting model is an important model to our kids, so we can help stop with the participation with with our kids being broken and going into incarceration, dropout, those things, because fathers are very important. My second question really is, what is your fatherhood story?
So my fatherhood story at its root is no different than many of other men. However, it's powerful in the sense that I grew up in a single parent home with approximately 6 other women, 1 male. And so because I didn't have or know who my father was, my father became the streets. My father became other males who may have not all been doing the right thing. And it really shaped and molded who I am today because of some of the influences from some people who I hold very valuable. But they was living a different life. They was living a different life because they were hurt and their father wasn't there. So they was doing the best they knew to guide and shape and help me, which wasn't absolutely the right thing to do at that time. So I had to learn a lot of lessons for myself. And a part of that meant, making a lot of mistakes that I necessarily didn't have to make, which really helped me to become the man that I am today. So in that sense, it was a powerful lesson. But because of that, my job is to make sure that other young men and other men like you and I who claim that they're in a different space and they're trying to guide young people, but never heal from the pain, trauma, and hurt from an absent father that was, not present in their life. And it's a difference between being present and having presence. And I prefer to have presence.
Right. So how did not having a father impact your life?
What it did is there was a whole lot of pain, and we grew up in the era where it wasn't okay for men to cry. And so one of the things I think about is Detroit. I have a native son who wrote the book, Cry Like a Man, Brother Jason Wilson, which is a powerful book. But the narrative in our communities is that we're only protectors and providers. And in actuality, we are protectors, providers, nurturers, we are educators, we are emotional stabilizers, because it is our presence that regulates testosterone for males to be able to calm down, to critically think, to be disciplined. We, in our presence, help our young women, our daughters, cousins, whoever, to understand what love is and not be searching for love from someone whose intentions are not pure for their benefit.
Man, Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I'm thinking about, when in terms of the impact, and what you go through as a father, um, uh, who would be the men that you would name in your fatherhood story?
So honestly, if I peel back the onion and the layers, I'm going to give you two names. But again, the same people who they said were thugs and criminals actually played a very valuable role because they took me with them. They taught me a lot of valuable lessons. I mean, I made a lot of bad choices, bad decisions. But the older I got, the more they was like, look, there is something in you. We got you. Nah, you stay away from this, right? You make this decision. They wanted to see me win, right? So they really stepped in quick. A lot of cousins, but two people in particular. One is Calvin Abdul Usman Hag, which was my cousin. He was 4 years older than me. Left when I was roughly 14, went into the Air Force. He exposed me to neighborhoods that I didn't think about because, again, growing up in my neighborhood in North Philadelphia, we didn't see the big houses. We didn't see all the things that we could become. And so our thought process was that 2 block radius that we lived in. It was basketball, it was football, it was throwing them hands. And he taught me a lot of those things, but he also taught me about uh, the Quran. He taught me about living righteously. He taught me so many other valuable lessons. He played the sax. He he made bad choices, but once he got his life straight, and he went down the path of Islam. He taught me about nutrition, and it was those things and those experiences, like the art theater, so many things that we didn't think about in my neighborhood. Not at that age. It was about getting money and other things. And so just being able to see certain things and to have someone to support you and tell you, you can be whatever you want to be. I don't care what nobody tell you. You grow up in this environment, you are a warrior. And let me tell you about your history and the greatness that you come from. And so we went and visited the centers and talked about Richard Allen and all the phenomenal people that come from our bloodline that oriented me to what I was capable of doing, and really not just focusing on shooting for the stars, but understanding that the stars was my foundations to catapult into the stratosphere. And then my grandfather, which is my maternal grandfather, he was in a little bitty town, Mount Gilead, North Carolina, where he was an entrepreneur at an early age. And so his entrepreneurship was tied to, he had nightclubs and different things like that. He went into the military. And so me, myself, because of the two of them and me coming to North Carolina every summer, my grandfather was also understood agriculture. So he exposed me to so many different things. He's the first person who taught me how to drive. And it was his work ethic. He helped build his own house and many different things like that. So understanding that model and understanding and listening to the stories, like your grandfather, he wasn't no joke when he was younger, but to see him when he was older, to make sure he watched out for the community is what fueled my community activism, is what showed me that anything is possible, because he didn't have a high school degree. Yet this man could take blueprints and can build a house. He had cropping, and he also always took care of the elders and others in the community. Like, and
Wow.
that's one of the most valuable skills that you can get, because it's tied to emotional intelligence as opposed to what Western philosophy tends to direct us towards focusing on, which is intelligence quotient. You can be the smartest person in the room. If you can't transfer that information or that knowledge so it benefits individuals and community, then it's about self, and you operating from ego as opposed to operating from what we were intended to put on this universe to operate from, which is what's good for our fellow man and
Yeah,
humanity.
man. So what, three things, you run into a young man of your age, a young man that was in your situation for your children. What would be the three things that you would give him as a new father?
So first things first is really sitting down with him and finding out where he's at. What I mean by that is a lot of times we give a appearance that we're okay because it's not all right for us as males to be in grief, to be in pain, and to acknowledge his pain and his frustration and teach him that we can't operate from those emotions. So we develop goals. Because again, everybody has dreams. Until we put it in writing, then it becomes a goal. And the goal is achievable when you actually have a destination, because now we can back plan to figure out how we get to that goal. Number two is teaching him the importance of exposure and not fearing the unknown, right? Because fear will prevent us from walking through a door that will change the trajectory of our children's children's children. And that's where the game shifts. We have to create think tanks. This is the third one, creating think tanks where we draw from our elders and the mistakes that was made by our ancestors to help position us to create generational wealth. So again, that self-esteem and understanding and creating a plan in terms of what things didn't you like that you didn't like from your relationship, either with your father, or what did you love from what your father taught you, putting that in some actionable things. And then last thing, to my point, preparing ourselves and future generations.
Great points. And then this is our last. This is where we get, true passion and love in this question. Really, what does fatherhood really mean to you?
For me, fatherhood is the ultimate sacrifice, and it's the ultimate benefit. Being a father is not just being present. As I shared earlier, being a father is having presence. When I have two daughters, when they came into this universe, they didn't come with instructions, but they came with instructions. And the instructions that they came with is my responsibility to observe what their strengths are, what their desires are, to encourage them. Fathers prepare their child or their children for life after they transition so that they know what they need to do and have a blueprint to make their mark in this universe and to do so with the utmost confidence. So when we look at your success, my success, it is those either our fathers or those people who shared and affected our lives in such a way that it provided guidance for us to be successful. For some people, it was the Cosby Show. For some people, it was the Fresh Prince. Many people may have had a father. And for some of us, it was a cousin and it was a neighborhood. But it's a presence that prepares us to navigate this journey that we call life.
Well, you heard it. I heard it. We thank you, Kelly Little, for coming on. If you can, tell the people where they can reach you at and how they can support you.
So you can reach me at www.urbaninstituteforstrengtheningfamilies.com. or www.embraceyourtruth.org. On Instagram, it's urban_institute_4_SF and embrace_your_truth. Phone number 704-228-2955. Anyone out here can support me by donating to either one, but more importantly, connecting with me so that we create a body of fatherhood advocates to change our current community, because as we stand together, locked in arms, no one or nothing, system, institution can break the strength in a collaborative or synergetic group of men who are here to regulate and create models for young people to understand their greatness.
That's awesome. Well, again, you can come on Daddy Talk, send an email to info@thegoodfathersonly.com. I'm Calvin Mann, your host, president and founder of Good Fathers Only. You can join us. Go to thegoodfathersonly.com, pull down the application, send us an email. Let's get involved. Uniting Fatherhood Worldwide. Kelly Little, once again, thank you for coming on. And this was Daddy Talk around the world. Thank you.
Support this brother.